You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. Let's go beyond the box score with Jackie Ray. Jackie Ray, how are you this evening?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. I don't choose the news. Well, I choose the news. I can't create the news. And sometimes news happens for reasons I don't quite understand. Last week, we started talking about this phenomenon as if it was like a one-off or, not a frequent event where people were throwing sex toys on the court.
Right.
Which could have injured a player, which could have been very dangerous in a general sense. And I thought it was just going to die down. And then we later found out during the week, we didn't get a chance to find out, but it was, I don't know, some tech bros or some crypto bros.
Crypto bros. Yep.
I guess trying to be funny or something.
It worked. That cryptocurrency that they created is taking off. So it worked.
I guess, but then they kept doing it. Since that time, 2 people have been arrested, and police are looking for a third person because a 12-year-old girl was struck by one of these sex toys thrown at a WNBA game in Brooklyn. And I guess she's going to be okay. She might be traumatized for life.
How would she not be okay? It's plastic.
No, it's
synthetic.
It's not plastic. I think it's like a polyurethane.
Okay, polyfake.
Rubber.
It's
material.
Yeah,
it bounces. Plastic doesn't bounce.
It's not designed to harm, is what I'm saying.
That's debatable.
It's designed to pleasure. Sorry, that was probably too far. Anyway, carry on. What were you saying?
I lost my train of thought. Tony just put his head down. I was like, I don't want to be part of this at all. Don't put me in this. My point is, the WNBA was not hurt by the added publicity. Yes, it's unseemly, but bottom line, it's probably good for the sport. I mean, it was mean-spirited, and I wouldn't advise it. But it's not like the WNBA is going to turn down the attention. I mean,
theoretically, and people say, oh, Jackie, that's not true. But this is a phrase that I actually do live by. There's no such thing as bad press. It's all in how you spin it. I
don't know. Diddy had
that's not bad press. That's bad actions. That the press started talking. That's different. Okay. But when people are just talking about you and there's no harm, no foul, nothing nefarious is happening to people because of the actions you took, thereby getting the press, there's no such thing as bad press. This is just a juvenile prank that is causing people to once again talk about the WNBA. That's not a bad thing.
I've noticed that the WNBA is leading conversations on ESPN and Fox Sports. It's on the landing page of ESPN and FoxSports.com.
Right.
So if anything, they've earned their way to the front page, as they say. They're now starting the negotiations in earnest for the new CBA, the collective bargaining agreement. And now I want to kind of mix some stories here. I was going to talk about this next story.
Okay.
But I want to start it now because I don't know if you heard about the story where Paramount and the TKO group reached a 7-year deal for all UFC events in U.S.
Yes.
The UFC is notorious for not paying its fighters.
Correct.
Even before this deal. And I could get into the politics or what it looks like given this deal happened, Dana White, his political connections, and also what the president did to intervene with CBS and Paramount. There are a lot of layers to this story, but this is something I want to get your comment on. UFC fighters make as little as $10,000 to $30,000 per fight.
It's ridiculous.
Fighters have to cover training expenses, medical costs, and other associated fees. The UFC, prior to this deal, generated an annual revenue of $1.4 billion last year.
Yep.
Average UFC fighter salary, about $140,000 per year, but most fighters usually make closer to $51,000. Now, let's compare that to the WNBA. Now, that's why I'm putting these stories together. The average WNBA salary for this season is estimated to be around $102,000.
Correct.
And the minimum salary is $62,000. The WNBA generated $200 million during the previous season, the first season of Caitlin Clark. How is it that the WNBA is paying better per athlete than the UFC?
Because they're demanding it. So that's what's happening. They, in the last collective bargaining agreement, shout out to Nneka Ogwumike, who's the president of the WNBA Basketball Players Association. very highly educated, and she pushes for certain things. So this is what I try to explain to people. When you're seeing players at the WNBA All-Star game that are wearing a shirt that says, pay us what you owe us. The WNBA is, when you talk about broke, everybody always says the WNBA is broke. You're broke and rich people broke, not the same broke. It is not the same broke. And so just stop saying that, because that just shows how little you understand finances beyond your own. That's first and foremost. So the players are asking for money from this influx of revenue that they are receiving, and they are fighting for it.
Let's break it down. When you say revenue, that has to do with merchandising. That has name, image, and likeness on a professional level. This commercial revenue.
And the
TV
big one,
deals.
TV deals. Yeah. And so that's the thing. People forget the rise of Jake Paul came out of UFC players not being paid enough and being very verbal about Dana White being a crook, and not only not paying fighters collectively as much, being discriminatory on which fighters he would pay more than others. But they didn't fight loud enough, and they didn't fight long enough.
They're not unionized yet, are they?
They are not. And so that's another problem. Nor have they fought, pun intended, to become unionized.
And the irony is not lost on me. Right. It's like, how is it you fight harder in the ring than you do in the boardroom?
Mm-hmm. And this is something that we've seen in the fighting world forever, is people going into the ring, risking their lives. We know what happens whether you win that fight or not. We know the long-term effects of you consistently being in that ring and consistently boxing. There's long-term health risks that come with that.
I got to jump in there, because the lie that was told, and it was a lie, that MMA was safer than boxing because it didn't go 12 rounds or 15 rounds, and you weren't subject to as many headshots. Now that we've had the UFC for a good 30 plus years, we are seeing the long-term effects.
And the people that didn't know that was a lie out the jump, seeing all the blood in the ring, fight in and fight out. This is why people get away with stuff, because people are uneducated about topics, and they won't educate themselves on the topics. And so, but at the same time, when you have a fan base that just wants to see these types of fights, and you have these fighters that won't fight for equal pay or even just pay, then who's to blame in that situation? By all means, it should be the players that are getting into that ring that should be the loudest. Or here's the other part: stop fighting. If there's no product, Dana White has no choice but to acquiesce to your request.
But here's the difference between the UFC, which is modeled more like at the NFL. Mm-hmm. UFC is the brand which is promoted. There is no fighter which is bigger than the brand.
Correct.
Same with the NFL. Mm-hmm. It's the shield. It's not the individual players. You know about them, but they're not promoted above the league. Right. It's different with the NBA. You know, LeBron is bigger than the brand of the NBA.
Absolutely.
And that's intentional as far as the UFC, because that's why fighters are so disposable. Mm-hmm. John Bones Jones, doesn't matter if he doesn't want to fight anymore. It's the UFC. They have a fight every month, $89.95. Yep. People are still going to buy. Why? Because to their credit, they still have better fights on average matchups of people who want to see than boxing.
Correct. Because even if you have a long ticket and there's a couple of bad fights on there, there's a couple of great fights. You get to see fighters you've never seen before, and they're great. And now that part I love about the UFC, that you can just see people that I ain't even heard of this person, and all of a sudden
they're fighting their heart out,
and they look fantastic. I also like how they're promoting, women in the sport as well. So they're doing some good things. This is not to be completely disparaging. However, when you are making the kind of money that you make, and you walk yourself into every photo op, Dana White, and make it look like you're some sort of savior, and you're paying people peanuts, something's fundamentally wrong with you.
Let's pick this up on the other side. It's later with Mo Kelly, Beyond the Box Score with Jackie Ray. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and social media on video.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're still going Beyond the Box Score with Jackie Ray. And Jackie Ray, let's talk a little bit of NFL football, but it's not really about the football itself. It's about what's happening outside of football. Shedeur Sanders, you know something about him. He played for Colorado. You're from Colorado, for those who may not know that. Shedeur Sanders, I think he and his father made some mistakes, which led to him being drafted, I think, in the 5th round as opposed to potentially number 1 overall. Mm-hmm. He had his first preseason game with the Browns. Did very well. Yeah, he threw 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Looked like, I'm going to prove everybody wrong, Shedeur Sanders. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They just released the depth chart for week 2.
Oh, I didn't see this.
See, I thought I was going to surprise you.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders is still number 4 on the depth chart. And you say, what does that mean? In other words, he's rated as the 4th quarterback. If this were an actual game, he'd be 4th to come in if need be.
Mm-hmm. And can you list the names ahead of him, please?
Oh, my gosh. Let me find it real quick.
Because that's the thing that's going to get me. Because there's no possible way that they...
Joe Flacco.
Oh, God. Stop right there.
Kenny Pickett.
Stop.
And Dylan Gabriel.
Come on.
Joe Flacco, longtime veteran. I think he won a ring with the
Ravens.
With the Ravens. Mm-hmm. Kenny Pickett, he's a journeyman quarterback. Mm-hmm. Dylan Gabriel, also a rookie, drafted, and Shedeur Sanders. Now, let me play both sides of this. Shedeur Sanders had a great 3 quarters of an exhibition game where he was not playing the 3 quarters against the number 1s of the defense.
Correct.
So I'll try to keep it in context, but I do believe he did enough to at least move up to the number 3 on the draft board. Now, we're not going to go full football on this, but there is a social commentary here. Is Shedeur Sanders being treated unfairly for reasons having nothing to do with football?
Absolutely. And this is the problem that I always have when people say, oh, just keep it about the game. Just keep it about football. It's never just about football when it comes to specific people, most times melanated people.
Okay. And I also have to say this. The team owner came out and said, in so many words, I'm paraphrasing him, so please don't think this is a quote. It's like, this is not my pick. Talking about Shedeur Sanders, saying that he would have never picked him, didn't want him. He pawned it off on the GM.
And gave no context, because I heard that quote. He gave no context as to why he wouldn't want him. So, and that's where I have a problem, because me, Jackie Ray, if I own a team, I would say this is not my pick, because the type of offense we want it to be pass heavy. He's shown that maybe he's not as pass.
Oh, trying to get your football on. Go ahead.
I'm trying to be logical. You know, this is a new thing out here in these American streets, but I'm trying to be logical. So I would have reasons why, because people forget that there are certain schemes that a certain quarterback just might not fit into if that's the type of offense you're running.
That's right.
But when you just say full stop, he's not my pick, and you don't follow up with a why.
A football why. It can't even be a personality why. You can't say, oh, I don't like him. I think he has bad breath. Like, give him a minute and move on with your life if he's good at what he does. But when you just say he's not my quarterback and you leave it at that, we know, we can read the context clues. We know that it has nothing to do with football, and you either A, feel like he's too confident and this happens, I know a lot of people don't like to talk about this, but I've been watching football my whole life. There's an expectation that black men specifically have to come in with a level of humility that white men do not have to have. Well, there's also the history of black quarterbacks in the NFL.
Right.
And there's a stigma that the black quarterback does not process the game from the quarterback position as well as his white predecessors. But to your point, when the owner doesn't specify the reasons, then you leave it up to speculation, and you can't say, well, you can't say it's that. No, until you rule it out, some people are going to rule it in.
All things are on the table until you prove me otherwise.
Now, I wonder if I'm Shedeur Sanders, I would say I'm auditioning for my next team.
That's exactly what I'd be saying, because no matter what, I am hell bent on getting out.
They're not keeping 4 quarterbacks. They're not. And Shedeur Sanders is probably not going to be the starter week 1. And so they would get whoever gets Shedeur Sanders is going to get him on a discount because he was drafted in the 5th round. His contract is not going to change being traded to another team. And you can't get any worse than Cleveland, let's be honest now.
You absolutely can't. I always say that Cleveland is purgatory for football. That's where careers go to die.
I'm trying to think the last successful football player to come out of Cleveland. I'm being honest, and I know football. I'm trying to think.
I can't even
Jim
think.
Brown?
Damn. That's about right, though.
Bernie Kosar?
I think that's about right.
Brian Sipe? I can't think of really anyone who's made their career in Cleveland.
Yeah, it's a notoriously bad team. There was once upon a time Cleveland had a thing called the dog pound because they were great defensively. I would bet my last dollar most people in the chat don't even remember that because it's been that long ago.
That was early 90s.
Yep.
Because I watched that, and that's when they messed off that playoff game. Ernest Biner fumbled at the football at the goal line.
Yep. That's the last time anybody cared about
Look, I know some football. Yeah. Jackie Ray, what are you talking about on your show?
Okay, so tomorrow the Jackie Ray Show is coming out. It's all about mental health and this therapy that I personally did because I don't sleep well. It's called Blink Therapy. And if it can work on my brain, I feel like it can work on anybody's because I have a stubborn brain, y'all. So you're going to want to check that out.
You have a great clapback.
Thank you. I'd be quick with it, right?
Who are you clapping back with in that clip that you showed me?
So I showed a clip. You can't see it on my TikTok because apparently it's not allowed, but it is on my Instagram. But there was a gentleman on my TikTok live this morning. Gentleman that he kept doing these little comments about the WNBA. And so I was telling him places he can learn. Like if he seemed like he really wanted to learn about the WNBA. So I was like, okay, you can follow this podcast, follow this creator, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, no, I absolutely won't do that because I don't like the fact that the women in the WNBA all look and sound like men. Yuck. And so then.
Okay, he's trolling.
So he's trolling. But I have a bunch of nicknames. One of them is Petty Ray. So I clicked on his picture and then I reminded him of why he should not say such things.
In other words, don't come for Jackie Ray unless she sends for you.
Amen.
And not a minute before.
Yes.
Jackie Ray, it's always good to see you.
Pleasure.
It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Well, it's Later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and I just want to give you an update on Stefan's GoFundMe. We are now over $98,000, $98,116 to be exact. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of Stefan and the family and everyone here at KFI. We do not take your generosity and kindness for granted. We have the stated goal of 110,000. Every dollar does matter. Every dollar is appreciated. And going back to my earlier conversation with Stefan's mother, Barbara, she reiterated and confirmed that it's going to be a long road and it's going to be a difficult road for Stefan and his recovery. She reminded us, and we'll have this up on the podcast, our conversation. She reminded us that Stefan is left-handed and his left arm suffered major structural musculoskeletal damage requiring multiple surgeries. He had his third surgery earlier today. And from the way that she described it, it was cleaning of the wound, removing debris, examination of the level of swelling. And each step will be its own, and then they'll see what the next step will be. But there are a lot of steps that have to be done, and she could not even forecast how long that he was going to be in the hospital. So all these things should be taken into account when we donate to the GoFundMe. And just in case you did not know or could not remember the address, it's GoFundMe.com/F/Foosh, FOOSH. Or if you go to GoFundMe.com and just search for Foosh, FOOSH, you'll be able to find it there. Some other news that we're looking at. Do you remember when I was talking to you last week about how the U.S. was trying to put a nuclear reactor on the moon? Yes. And there was a rush to do it because, according to our transportation secretary, Sean Duffy, China and Russia were also trying to put a nuclear reactor on the moon. And I was making the argument, well, it's one thing if you want to rush to beat them off on the moon, but why is it you can't rush to beat them in the race right here on planet Earth? Here's what I mean. China, in a technology sense, China just opened its first full-scale shopping center dedicated entirely to robots this past week. And this is a part of a broader push to bring robotics into people's homes. We're talking about literally iRobot. You have your own slew of robots. The 4-story robot mall, which is in Beijing, showcases more than 100 robots from over 40 brands. And it shows how they can be added to your home. The mall also includes a themed restaurant where robot waiters serve dishes and drinks prepared by robot chefs. Hey, Mark, more jobs gone.
Remind me to Yelp that place.
Visitors can also watch robots play soccer or Chinese chess, interact with robot dogs, or meet animatronic versions of historical figures. And I know not everyone wants a robot, not everyone needs a robot, but it does tell you where at least the country of China is pointed in terms of technology. They're looking to the 22nd century. We're stuck in the 20th century, honestly. And it's nice that we want to put a nuclear reactor on the moon. And I say that with great condescension and sarcasm. It's nice we want to put a nuclear reactor on the moon, but there's so much more that we can be doing here in a technological sense if we would actually like to beat China in a race of technology. But I don't think we're serious. I don't think we're even close. And I made the comparison. We're not serious about high-speed transportation here. You know, the country of China is connected, all of its major cities, by high-speed trains. We have some updated Amtrak trains, which are supposed to be coming out. I think they can do 120 miles an hour, and they'll probably derail the first corner that they hit because the tracks are not considerably different or improved in the past 20, 30 years. But we have lagged in technological advances. But we also want to play as if we're on the same level as China. Not technologically. They're kicking our ass. And this is just another example of how we are. Now, I know Mark will probably say these robots, they have AI, and they're going to be the death of us all. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. I'm just saying that there is a role in place for robots and AI in our society.
It should be regulated like crazy because it turns out, and I spent the whole weekend saving articles about this stuff.
I know you did.
You're lucky I didn't bombard you with all the stuff I read this weekend. They're a disappointment across the board. Always follow the money. Follow the old Woodward and Bernstein maxim. Follow the money. A small group of people are going to make a mint on forcing this stuff on us. None of us want it. None of us need it. It's a disappointment when we actually see it working, except in a narrow range of things like calculations and research. But otherwise, it's just slop.
Well, it is a way for a capitalistic society like ours to maximize, I'll say, getting rid of employees. I don't know of an artful way to say it. It's an easy way to get rid of human capital when it comes to the labor force, because when you talk about, who benefits, follow the money. Mm-hmm. Capitalism is built upon that singular idea of more money, more money.
Well, and the concept that there is never such a thing as enough. And I feel really tedious pointing out that we're all capitalists. It's in our DNA. We grew up in it. And so whenever we point out something rotten about it, oh no, it's not like we're dirty pinkos or something. That should go without saying, unless you're a moron. But some of this stuff, it's just a cancer, and it's not that much of a metaphor. It's an actual cancer. If you look at the definition of cancer being a thing that just spreads uncontrollably in a closed environment, which is what the earth is.
So how much time does the human race have?
It depends on whether we start regulating this stuff. And right now what we're seeing is regulations being just disappeared. So I can't say. But, people have the ability to reject this stuff or call their representatives and say, hey, we need you to keep an eye on this and regulate it and make sure that it's used for good and not just putting people out of work. Because you got to remember, the original promise of AI and all this technology was, it's going to free up human beings to do things,
not work,
do things they want to do, live up to their potential. No, it's just being used to make people unemployed. So a small handful of people can get even richer than they already are.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Mark Ronner, and I hate saying that.
It causes you physical pain that I can see in the camera.
I wouldn't say physical pain. It's more like a nauseous feeling, just like in the pit of my stomach. Make me want to vomit just a little bit in my mouth.
Well, that makes
not
both
full
of us.
Vomit.
Here, I got like a half a dozen articles I'm going to forward you as soon as we're off the mic.
That's very nice of you. Please don't.
You're
It's
welcome.
Later with Mo Kelly. We got your horoscope when we come back. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640 is later with Mo Kelly. And you know what Monday means? It means it's time to figure out what's going to happen in your life. Or hopefully what's going to happen in your life. No guarantees. Let's start off with Aries. And this is the signs which are getting lucky and those who are going to get left behind in August of 2025. Aries, your ruling planet in your opposite sign centralizes love and relationships for you this month. You may find yourself measuring the investment of your most intimate dynamics, finding yourself wanting or wanting more. When the sun leaves the pyrotechnic arena, Leo for the blessed, bountiful dirt of Virgo, your focus moves to how you move through daily life and how you care for the tender animal of your own body. If you've been treating that body more like a dumpster than a divine vessel, now is the hour to course correct.
Yes.
I'm glad I'm not an Aries because I have no idea what that's freaking supposed to mean.
Correct your body. Get with your inner soul. Don't let it just run wild like a filthy animal in the streets.
I guess a good bowel movement will clear that up. Taurus, Mars in Libra is rounding the bases in your 6th house of service and ritual. This energy asks you to battle for the benefit of your body. Do not compromise when it comes to treating yourself well and adhering to a pattern that makes you feel happy, healthy, and free. The full moon in Aquarius may illuminate the ways that your work is no longer working for you. If you wake up feeling more dead-eyed than ready to go, it may be time to bow out. Gemini, here we go, Mark.
Let's have it.
Ahoy, Gemini. This month, Mars is your 5th house of play and inspiration, and it feeds your need to create and copulate.
Ahoy to that.
You got right to the point.
Copulation, ahoy.
It doesn't say anything about green dildos being thrown at you.
Thank you.
Whether getting it on or letting it out, reflect on the ways both action, sex, and art stem from the sacral chakra and can both complement and coax the other, as in P-L-E-M-E-N-T, not P-L-I.
Okay.
At month's end, Venus moves into Leo and your 3rd house of communion. Send a letter, record the fever pitch of your orgasm, recite a poem to a stranger. Whatever you do, let words and sound be a quick cure.
Record the fever pitch of your orgasm.
Yes.
Correct.
Mark, add that.
You
to
got
the
a
next
microphone, you got a
game.
recording device. Make it happen, Captain.
The next video game you do, Mark, you can have that in the background.
This may not be the soundest advice of all time.
Go play with that joystick.
Yeah, move on.
Cancer. What gives you peace, Cancer? Is it the exhale of home, the body of your lover, the quiet hour before the sun pulls itself up? Whatever it is, make your living space a conduit for it. With prayer candles or blackout curtains, earplugs, or a record player, practice making peace your constant companion. And where you lay your head, the bed from which all things spring. Leo, happy return of the sun to you. A retrograde parade is a piss poor way to celebrate the occasion, but here we are, and from here we will climb up and out. Coupled with Mercury retrograde, Mars in Libra adds a sense of weaponry to your words. Bite your tongue more than you loosen it, and remember that the reception of a message is born in its delivery. The full moon this week highlights your 7th house of trusted partnerships. When it comes to those you count as close, you have your back, and who is only there to clap?
Like,
I don't know, clap back?
booty clap?
I don't know.
No, like booty clap.
Like, yeah, drop it like it's hot clap.
Somebody got the clap?
My neck, my back.
Oh, no.
Are you okay tonight, Carnisha? Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yes, I'm fine.
It's just the inappropriate laughing at the seemingly wrong time. You laughed at a child getting hit in the head with a sex toy.
Well, you know, that is funny.
Okay. I'm just going to let that hang out there.
Please don't.
Don't let it hang.
Libra. Are we on Libra or Virgo? Virgo. Mars in Libra hits your 2nd house of wealth and worth this month, Virgo. This is a summons to take stock of what matters most to you and guard it accordingly, lest you forget that your energy is currency to be invested rather than spent. When Venus enters Leo on August 25th, you could find yourself riding the dark wave of a heady, secret-soaked love affair. No telling where that ride and tide might take you or how it might change you. Now, Libra. Mars in your sign is a battle cry for your personal betterment. This transit amplifies your ability to take charge, cut bait, tell the truth, make calls, and roll the dice on risk. Represented as it is by an inanimate object, Libra energy can often stall as it awaits activation from an outside force. But during this transit, I beseech you, don't wait to be inspired, triggered by another person before making your moves. Sit in the stillness of yourself and listen close for the call to action. Speak the truth, even and especially the words taste bitter on your tongue.
Okay.
Twala,
let's go, man.
Here's your meaningless horoscope that I will not be able to in any way understand.
I got it.
Mars in Libra is milling about in your 12th house of thresholds, sabotage, and the unconscious mind. This is not comfortable territories, Twala, but it is necessary cobweb clearing that helps you find what elevates and electrifies you and cast off aside the tired, the untrue, and that which tests your beauty.
Okay.
Later in the month, the sun in Virgo throws a light on your 10th house of friendship, utopian ideals, and aligned allies. Your instinct is a sacred gift that draws and repels in equal measure. Trust that what is right will come closer and what is not meant for you will move on.
Hot damn.
Did you understand that?
No,
Yes.
I didn't.
Okay.
Yes. No, look, I did.
You did?
It's just
Yes.
a lot of words on a page.
No, look, I understand that they're getting into something deep that's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it is kind of befuddling or it does scramble the mind a little bit, but the advice to go on and just trust that I will clear out those cobwebs, sort out the muck and mire that is actually before me. Oh no, I'm good.
Mark, he has no idea.
I literally just broke it down.
That was a word salmon salad.
I think the upshot is that we take him outside and turn the hose on him.
I broke it down.
Sagittarius, this is me. This could be a month of breakthroughs for me. The full sturgeon moon in Aquarius opens a portal for downloads and may offer insights into how the quality of your conversations is co-creating your reality. The sun step into Virgo highlights your long-term goals and social standing. Are you answering a true calling or building a dream you've long since stopped believing in? Inspiration moves toward you when you stop forcing and crack open to receiving. Capricorn, this is you, Tony.
No, Mo. Crack open to receiving. Let's focus on that.
Capricorn, I'm going to let that just slide on by. Right. Capricorn, this is you, Tony.
All right.
Welcome to August.
Cool.
Mars in Libra moves through your 10th house of legacy and purpose.
10th?
Yeah. You got another 9 out there.
Okay.
Asking you to balance the scales between duty and desire. In this sense, we hope you will approach the work you do and the work you do to improve yourself, not as a mission with a destination, but a ceaseless education that builds on and back to itself. Nothing?
Okay.
All right.
He's
Aquarius.
taking it in. Why do you want to rush him? Let him bask in it.
I work too much. I get it. Cool.
All right. Then there's that. Aquarius, the transit of Mars in Libra asks you to consider if you wear your belief system like a loose garment on a breathless corset. Listen to the chorus of contrasting opinion and loosen the stays. The full sturgeon moon in your sign is a prime time to sacrifice who you were and what you believe to the pyre of possibility. The future begins with your first step after the fire. And lastly, Pisces, no shallow waters for you to wade through this month. Mars in Libra activates your 8th house of sex, death, regeneration, and resources. Coupled with the final throes and subsequent shadow period of Mercury retrograde in your 6th house of rituals, this can inspire healing through financial clarity, sex magic, and or communing with your dearly departed. Sex magic and communing with the dead?
That's a lot jammed together right there, isn't it?
Sex, magic, and communing with the dead.
Just one from the menu, please. Not everything.
It can be people who are dead to you, but you're still like going through your phone like, she was dead to me, but I think I may commune with her.
I think that this
get into
makes
some
you
shadow sex.
They're ordering you to pay for a 3-way with Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah.
Mark. How dare you?
Oh no, they're gone. It's impossible. You can't take it literally.
Don't give him a rim shot. He doesn't deserve a rim shot.
He doesn't. No, they reset that rim shot.
Having sex with the dead is not cool.
No, there's words for it.
People that
Legal?
are dead to you.
Extra words. multiple words.
Felonious. I don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah, all unsavory.
You can use words and the language of your body to cross worlds this month, and that is your horoscope for this week. KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.